for Donald Trump. I got you. I got you. I absolutely got you. This is Del K. Bridge, and this is The Real Spiel. Is Donald Trump the new Abraham Lincoln? Well, according to Donald, he is. According to Donald, he has done so much for black people, more than any president since Abraham Lincoln. And you know what? I cannot believe that Donald took a backseat to old good old Abe. I can't believe it. I can't believe that he thinks he is second to Abraham Lincoln. I think that's the only person Donald Trump has ever put himself in the backseat for. Good old Abraham Lincoln. And it's only because of you black people that Donald Trump has allowed himself, for the first time in his life, to be second place. Let's explain some things about Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump has had a very long-standing record, and I need you to go on my community page and look at a post that I posted early this morning. It was from Roland Martin. Now, some of y'all don't like good old Roland, but Roland knocks it out the park sometime, and he knocked it out the park with this. It's a 7-minute video clip that has been strung together about all of the racist things that has come out of the mouth of your beloved 45? Your beloved 45. Was he 45? I believe it was 45. Listen to me. And I'm specifically talking to people of color. Not because I'm disenfranchising anyone, who all have a voice and all have the capacity to vote on this president. I'm talking to black people because people who are been pro-Trump, and I'm gonna beg you forgiveness. I'm gonna beg you forgiveness to the black people who have been pro-Trump, and I have said disparaging things about you. I apologize. I do. I apologize. I apologize because that is not the way to gain your trust and attention in respect to this conversation. And you know what? I have some good friends who I've recently gotten into affiliation with in America, who are black Republicans, and they're good people. They are good people. And they are struggling also with the concept of race and their conscience in respect to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Most of them, and most of the good people that I've had conversations with, their issue is effectively some of the other policies that they have to inherit with the Democratic Party. They feel that those policies are the dominant issue that causes them to stay Republican even with a Donald Trump presidency. And so what they choose to do is they choose to look at the policies that fit their moral compass and not the person that is against their entire humanity. I'm not going to do it justice, but let's go. Donald Trump has put 203 judges. He's put the most judges of any president, apparently, in place, seating these judges in a position to effectively dismantle, I'll say it specifically, dismantle the entire civil rights movement for black people. Donald Trump has militarized, had basically an executive order that allowed for search and frisk targeted predominantly the black community, allowing police forces to militarize themselves and stop, frisk, and terrorize black people in America. That one bill alone put you guys back easily 50 years. That one bill alone. Donald Trump has made disparaging, racist comments to the black community on a whole. Things like, I believe that the reason that the black folks support me is because of the indictments. They support me because of the indictments. That's why the blacks like me. His allegation is that black people are supporting him because they resonate with a president who has criminal things going on with him, or of their relationship with the criminal justice system of America causes us to now be more affectionate to a gentleman who is now dealing also with the criminal justice system. What he's effectively saying is that our criminality as a people is what causes us to love and be affectionate towards Donald Trump. The disrespect, the audacious disrespect of a man who does not identify that the majority of black people are not even individuals who have dealt with the criminal justice system. Do you realize that? Do people just think all black people in America, all 45 million black people in America, are just criminals? Because your criminal justice system incarcerates per capita more black men than any other nation in the world, that more black people are incarcerated in America alone than all of the world combined, just because you do that, it doesn't mean that the predominant of black people who have criminal records, who have incursions in their community, are criminals or have had even interactions with the police. But good old Donald, pushing a racist narrative to the world and to his nation, again, causing this old jigaboo mindset of what the black man and black woman is part of Donald's recipe. Donald Trump has, speaking of Charlotte and other scenarios where there had been white right and white nationalists and white supremacists, he has woken up support from these particular people like David Duke and the Proud Boys, other groups that are white nationalist groups. He's had white nationalists as part of his administration. The gentleman has a litany of other things that can be discussed. Can we not speak about Donald Trump taking out an ad in the New York Times in the 1990s, trying to bring back the death sentence for the exonerated five, we call them, these young black men who were wrongfully accused of a crime. And Donald Trump was an advocate for the death penalty in New York, the state of New York, taking out a page for these gentlemen. Come on, Donald. Donald's an old slave catcher. Donald comes from the very crux of what white supremacy has always meant in America. It's like apple pie in America. It's like baseball. It's part of the American dream, keeping Negroes in the place. And Donald has bought that dream. He has built on that dream. He golfs on that dream. He lives by that dream. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is an old slum landlord. That's right. He wouldn't even rent to black people. But he's a slum landlord that put black folks in positions where they couldn't even live in an appropriate level of housing that was under the auspices of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a guy that says, I don't want people who are black counting my money. I want people, what did he say? I want people who are wearing yarmulkes counting my money. These are things that you don't say in the public eye if you want anybody black to vote for you. But Donald Trump cannot be blamed for being a racist. You have to be blamed for ignoring his racism. Think about that. Donald Trump is like any other racist, historical white man anywhere in the world. And racism doesn't just live in America. It lives in South Africa. It lives in Libya. Okay? It lives in Great Britain. Yeah, y'all racist over there too. It lives in France. It lives in Italy. It lives in Greece. It lives in Argentina. Yes, racism lives everywhere. Anti-black racism. It lives all over the place. And you can't blame these people for being racist because evil is everywhere. What you have to blame yourself for, though, is your support of racism. When you develop, I call it ostrichitis, the ostrich, when it's fearful, when it doesn't know what to do, this giant bird digs a hole and sticks its head in the ground. Because the ostrich believes if I can't see it, it's not there. And this is what you have done. You have blindsided yourself. You've said things like, oh, when Donald Trump was president, people were walking around the hood with money in their pocket. The stimulus check? The stimulus check? That one-time payout? Was that your reparations? Yeah? What did he give you? $2,000? Was that your reparations? Come on, man. When the small businessman in America asked for the PPP loan, they didn't get it. They gave you Negroes handouts, absolutely. But when the businessman of America, the small business owners of America, black business owners, they didn't get the PPP loan. By predominance, black people of business savvy did not get that loan. But Donald Trump had people in the hood had money? Come on, stop this. What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Is the concept of the White House so far away from your everyday life that you don't understand and realize how it trickles down to affect you? How it affects the building of your self-esteem as a people? How it affects the dreams and the aspirations of your children? Come on. It changes the mindset of the everyday person who sits in that Oval Office. That Oval Office is a symbol more than it is an actual functional government institution. It's a symbol. And it's a symbol for what the conscience of America believes. And if the conscience of America believes that it's better to put a indicted, impeached, redneck racist in the White House than to put the Vice President of the United States, a black lawyer, Attorney General, an ex-senator, and to put her in the White House, then the conscience of America is broken. That's all there is to it. I don't know why we're even arguing. She even campaigns smarter than Donald Trump. She knows the particular swing states that she has to go to in order for herself to get recognition and to get elected. Though she's been to North Carolina 17 times. The governor of North Carolina says if Kamala wins North Carolina, she's the next president, period. And she knows that because she's smart. Donald Trump, he knows the swing states that affect him are swing states with urban populations, with black voters. So what does he say? What does he do? Does he visit them? Does he try to endear himself to them? No. He says, oh, we need to get those particular states, Detroit, Michigan, Georgia, we need to we need to really investigate those people because, oh, they've got some bad stuff going on there. Because he knows that the predominance of black people have sense and they ain't voting for you. And you can't go down there and unpeel your racism from their ears, in their mind, and from the internet. So all you can do is say that those particular swing states where black populations are voting in numbers against you, that there's something fishy going on down there. Donald is the greatest actor in the history of American politics. He is the greatest con man in the history of American politics. And this is what's going to happen 10 years from now. And now I can speak to the whites and the Latinos and the Asians. And let me speak to you. You will wake up in 10 years and you will look back and you will say, my God, we almost put Trump in another office. We almost put Trump in office again. Do you remember that? Yeah, bro. What were we thinking? Look at this man. History will show you that those who support Donald Trump today were on the wrong side of history. People were cheering for Adolf Hitler. Wait! Adolf Hitler had a social program that was meant to reinvigorate Germany. Germany had massive inflation. They had undesirable elements of the community that were causing the German economy and the German people to suffer. And Hitler swore he would rid his nation of those things that were negatively affecting the wealth and the prosperity and the health of the German people. He wanted to make Germany great again. He wanted the world to see the greatness of Germany. He wanted them to see his athletes. He wanted them to see his scholars, his musicians. He wanted the world to see that Germany was great. He was basically the Alexander the Great of Germany. Hitler was. Adolf Hitler was. He was a youth rallier. He was a motivator. He was a spokesman. Every single German today that supported Adolf Hitler knows they were on the wrong side of history. The wrong side of history. And I'm telling you, people of European descent, Jews who have built America, Italians, the Spanish, the Irish, the British, all of y'all come from the old country. You will wake up in either a nightmare or you will wake up in a state of relief, depending on who sits in this White House for the next 4 years. I hope you guys make the right decision, because unlike many people, I am not under the false narrative that believes that simply because I live in another country, that the United States of America does not affect my life. Oh, it does. It does, because when I cross that border and roll down the street, the police don't see a Canadian passport stuck to my head. They don't see an African passport stuck to my head. They see the narrative that has been given to them, the powers that have been given to them, and they see a black man, and I'm terrified of what perspective they are being given by their commander-in-chief. I know very well that it's not safe in America for a black man with Donald Trump as the president. I know that very well. I'm shocked you don't know. I'm shocked you don't know. And you might talk about, well, you know, the economy was doing well when Donald was in there. That's wonderful. That's great. The economy was doing well because of the Obama plan that matriculated into Donald Trump's presidency. Let's just be real about that. That's the truth. But if you don't want to give Obama any credit, and you want to say, no, Donald put some things in place that caused the economy to be pushed and to be moved. You can't spend money if you're dead on the street, George Floyd. Can't spend it. Can't spend money if you're dead. Can't spend money. So you keep talking about money like money is your god, but you got to think about the quality of life. You got to think of the harmony of a community. So this is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. Shiloh Institute stand up. I wanted to mention some things as I look at some of the commentary. You ain't black if you don't vote Joe. Well, Joe's not running anymore. Sorry, but we are voting Trump. Again, you don't have to be sorry. You don't have to be sorry. Many of you will have to realize what you've done later. And you have to figure that out, what you've done later. Let me tell you a story. In this place called Judah, the southern kingdom, there was a gentleman by the name of Jeremiah. Jeremiah was letting them know, ladies and gentlemen, God has told me that Nebuchadnezzar is going to come on in here. He's going to roll over everybody out here, and he's going to overthrow Judah. Now, it was a ridiculous sentence because Judah had been dealing with a prosperous season. Jeremiah was talking about decimation. He preached this for 42 years. 42 years, nobody came to his church. 42 years, his prophecy did not come true. He told them, I got to give you bad news. God says, lay down your arms, surrender yourself to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar is his servant. And what y'all are looking at here ain't gonna work out. Well, they threw Jeremiah in a well. They didn't want to hear him no more. But guess what? Everybody didn't listen to good old Jeremiah. They're on the wrong side of history. And I'm letting you know that you're on the wrong side of history. You're on the wrong side of history. You're gonna rue the day that you wrote that sentence. I'm sorry, we're voting for Trump. I'm sorry, we're voting for Trump. You're gonna have to explain that to your children one day. You're gonna hide that. You're never gonna bring that up again in mixed company. You're gonna be ashamed of yourself. I'm sorry, we're voting for Trump. I would like you to go and to look at the video that I posted of Roland Martin. I will never say anything disparaging to my people. Many people were on the wrong side of history. When I went back to Ghana, and the guides were showing me around the slave castles, and I asked the question, do Africans take responsibility for participating in the slave trade of their own people? And you know what the guy told me? He said, we didn't know. He's speaking on behest of his ancestors, of course. He says, but we didn't realize this type of slavery that we were selling you into. We had slaves. We were giving them the people in our houses that were effectively our servants. We're saying, oh, you want servants? You want people to serve? And we did not treat a slave the way they treated you. We did not expect them to do what they did to you. They were on the wrong side of history. They were on the wrong side of history. They received benefits. They received economic surpluses. They received guns and technology and power because they supported a regime that was anti-black, because they personally saw benefits. But they were on the wrong side of history. So, ladies and gentlemen, let history take its course. Make a decision. Will you vote your conscience? Or will you vote on some other premise that you might not even be able to cash in on? This is Del K. Brereton, and this is The Real Spiel. To my brother David Israel, tomorrow we will be having a discussion. I'm taking Hebrew from Professor and Dr. David Israel of the Israel Language Institute. My goodness. Fantastic. He's going to talk about it. It's myself and 5 others at this moment. We're trying to expand this school. He's doing it live on Zoom. He's in Israel, we're in Canada, and he's doing an amazing job. And I would like to expand that opportunity to more people, and we're going to have that conversation too. So stay tuned for that. But God bless you. Is Donald Trump the new Abraham Lincoln? God forbid. God forbid. Oh, let's not leave his comment out. I beg to differ. Time will tell. We are not wrong by voting. If you are voting for Trump, okay, I'm voting for Trump. And this brother has his name is Charles Newsom. And Lin is the one who made the other comment. I guess we'll all have to see. God bless you. We'll talk soon.